Welcome to Road Matters, the program that is all about making our roads safer, one discussion at a time. I am your host, Sufyan Muhammad. Today, we are tackling a major killer on our roads: vehicle overspeeding, excessive speed, as you may call it. In this week's episode, we bring to you a specialist, an instructor in person of Mr. Martins, that will take us on the impact, causes, and danger of overspeeding. And as usual, we have our reports from zones and stations, this time around from NTA Oshobo by Mr. Wasiyu, and of course from NTA Birnin Kebi by Sufianu Koko. Stay with us, don't go away. Thank you for staying with us. From NTA Oshobo, Mr. Wasiyu put together a report as a backgrounder for excessive driving, overspeeding as mostly called. Mr. Wasiyu, let's see what you have for us.
Overspeeding is one of the causes of untimely death among road users. This could be attributed to over-anxiety of motorists to reach their destination quickly.
From the highways to the city roads, overspeeding has become a silent killer leading to death of thousands. It is a situation where the drivers exceed the minimum speed limit without considering the consequences. Each vehicle has the number of kilometers to cover per hour, and this is stipulated in road safety manual.
Overspeeding, we call it excessive speed or speeding. Say you are supposed to go at 50 kilometers per hour in a built-up area, a marketplace, a congested place, or a school area. If you go beyond that, there are consequences. You see, speed, as I said, has to be controlled. And if it's not controlled, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem in the sense that in case of emergencies, to be able to maneuver, take adequate control of that vehicle becomes dangerous. And that is more reason why it is not allowable to go beyond the specified agreeable speed limit by the law.
People who are driving on the highway probably take off late for where they are going, and as such are in a hurry to get to their destination, especially if it is time bound. It means people should take off from where they are going without just assuming that they can get to their destination, which is time bound, freely, because you cannot predict what will be on the road by way of traffic jam and all the rest.
In light of the above, the effects of overspeeding in the society are not far-fetched.
The casualties is always very high in case of crash. Then the wear and tear on the engine has its own economic implication. The higher you go, the faster you go, the more you burn fuel, the more the wear and tear on the. Well, some of us don't know it. You understand? Some of us don't know it. You are putting the functions of the engine at their peak when you speed, when you go at a higher speed. So it has an effect on the engine. It has negative effect on control and balance. It has consequences, you understand. If there are crashes as a result of overspeeding, the fatality is always very high.
This worrisome act could be curtailed if all hands are on deck.
When we want to discuss the issue of overspeeding, we can not look away from the fact that there are prerequisite information and expectations of people who want to drive on our highways. Basic part of which is ownership of a driver's license. When you own a driver's license, you must have gone through stages of understanding the rules that guide driving. Some roads you are not supposed to exceed 20 kilometers per hour. Maybe they have a lot of schools around the place. But some people who do not go through that process of getting a license might not even know the road sign that tells you what speed limit to go on the highway. So overspeeding could be as a result of going at 50 kilometers per hour where you are supposed to go at 20. So basically, that prevention will come first from ensuring that everybody that drives on the highway have what it requires for them to be driving on the highway.
We punish people that go against the specified speed limit. That is on the issue of the law. But practically, I think about some years back, you see, if a vehicle is overspeeding, to arrest such a vehicle is very difficult. You could even endanger more lives. Do you understand it now? Now the court came up with an idea. We call it speed limiting device, which has to be installed in vehicles that will not allow a driver to go beyond a particular speed.
Adhering strictly to traffic rules will go a long way to reduce road crashes.
Finding a lasting solution to this should not be the responsibility of road safety officers alone, but all and sundry.
Thank you, Mr. Wasiyu, for that wonderful report. Before we dive into the major discussion, let's take a report by Sufianu Koko about one-way driving, because they have relationship. Mostly drivers that indulge into one-way driving do it with speed to avoid being caught by the authority. Sufianu, let's have it.
Road traffic offenses are a major concern in Nigeria, especially in Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi State capital. Dangerous driving habits like reckless overtaking, overspeeding, and one-way driving are causing crashes, injuries, and loss of lives. One-way driving is a serious offense that confuses drivers, causes jams, and lead to fatal accidents.
What they usually call one way, to my perception and understanding, is not proper and it's not in line. And everybody knows that it's against the common rules of road driving. So I will advise my colleagues, drivers, to stop doing what is illegal and pursue what is right for safety.
But then the government responsibility of enforcing the law. So therefore, since one way is illegal, then there should be a kind of security agencies, more especially the traffic, wardens who enforce those laws. And maybe if they did not at least arrest those that are following that one way, but at least their presence in those routes, will deter people from going through one way.
It is against road laws and can attract penalties from agencies like Federal Road Safety Corps.
In this town, that it has become a menace that has to be tackled. And on seeing that, I had a meeting with union members. In fact, we had a customer week where all stakeholders, like a town hall meeting, where all stakeholders on road matters gathered at our office, and we had heart-to-heart discussion about the happenings around the town, to join hands with us in order to curb the menace.
Let us promote safe driving and respect for traffic laws to save lives.
The implication of one-way driving is very simple, because when you are coming, the person who has the right of way will not think of any infraction. He will not think of anybody coming to hit him or coming from another side of the road to come and infringe on his own right of movement. So he goes straight. So by you driving one way, you are causing harm to an innocent person who has followed the rules and regulations of the road. You are causing harm to yourself, and you are causing harm even to the property which the governor of Kebbi State, Governor Dr. Nasir Idris, has spent money to take care of. He has done all these things not only to beautify Kebbi State, but to make sure that everybody moves in convenience. We are begging everybody that goes on one way or that carries out activities on one way, thinking that the road is too long for him to go and make a U-turn, that road safety is not going to spare you. If we see you, honestly, the hand of law will catch up with you.
Ahmadu Bello is the busiest way here in the Kebbi State capital, where many vehicles owners from the School of Nursing tend to follow the one-way driving, which causes serious accident. But now with the provision of traffic officer constantly by the government, the road crash has been minimized optimally.
Thank you, Coco, for that report. Lifestyle pressure to meet deadlines and poor enforcement of traffic laws contributes to the menace of excessive speeding. Next is our expert insight with Mr. Martins, a road expert and instructor with a driving school, Adonai Driving School. Let's have the discussion.
First of all, when we talk about overspeeding, is driving at a speed which is not recommended by Nigerian as a whole. Now, we have a speed limit in Nigeria which is called 100 kilometers per hour, which is 60 miles per hour. Now, Nigerians intend to go above this speed for so many reasons. Reasons like 1, lateness from the house, 2, appointments, 3, we want to meet up time, 4, maybe a bad road at their terrain where they are coming from, where they are heading to. So these are the factors that mostly causes overspeeding. Why sometimes overconfidence. Yes, people telling you that I've been driving for the past 45 years. In fact, somebody told me personally that when he started driving, I'm not giving it to me. So for that reason, he's allowed to move excessive speed. And I was telling that no, we don't drive to compete, we drive to survive. We drive to reach our destination. That's the most important thing on driving. Overspeeding is something you can't control. The more faster you engage, the more lighter the vehicle becomes. So this is something you can never control. That is overspeeding. So on the part of the overspeeding, every driver needs to be aware of the dangers of speed. They need to sit them down. That is why some offices, multi-government offices, like I myself, also give courses to some artists. These people are already drivers, so as in like I lecture them on 2 days course on just the dangers of speed. Now those drivers are all elderly men, like men of 50. These are government officials. So I need to just remind them of, okay, this is how the speed affects your life, properties, and the rest of them. So more awareness, reminding them of the dangers of speed, giving them pictures, videos of past incidents. So they use it to correct their mistakes. Delaying from the house, then I entered when I expect magic. I want to be at the office at exact 8 o'clock. Then I'm ready for an accident. The more faster you drive, the more you are absent-minded. That confidence you have when you're driving on a low mileage is different from the confidence you have when you're driving on excessive speed. Now, the more faster the car engages, the more lighter it becomes, and the more lesser you have to reaction time. So any mistake on the road, it will be a crash. There will be no role more than individual knowing what to do at a particular time. Now, take for an instance, I'm driving on an express, and on an express, let's just assume I'm running at 100 kilometers per hour on the express. Now, I'm not in a minor road, which is a minor highway. I'm not supposed to run 100 kilometers per hour on that spot. At least it will be around 50, if at most 60 kilometers. Nigerians will still want to maintain the same 100 at that spot. Now, when you ask, they'll tell you that road is road, they are all roads. So they don't want to explain to you. You know that now, on the express, you're running 100 kilometers. Now, on this spot, why running 100? They tell you that, it's all road. No, it's not enlightening. It doesn't know the differences on the road that we have on highway, slow lane, park, and it doesn't know all those. It just know that once the road is tied, it tells you we move, which is bad. First of all, it starts with the mind. You know, most people you see on the Nigerian road are not even enlightened about this issue about speed. They don't even know how this speed thing operates. They're not even aware. What they are just aware is I can drive, I can change the gear from gear 1 to gear 5 and the rest. And you see them on the street, on the road, driving recklessly, driving without confidence. Like some of my students in the driving school, for an example, some people will tell you that, I don't like this speed. It's too low. So I say, I'll not ask the students, where are you rushing to? Like me, for example, I'll tell you, it's better to be late than be late. That is what I'm trying to say. I rather come late than I arrive with a body bag. You will now start saying he was a good man and the rest of it. That is late for me. So some people are this in a hurry. I don't know why they're in a hurry. Now, some people will be telling you that, why would that car overtake me? Why such? You are not competing. The major aim on the road is to save life and property. So if they are aware of the dangers of speed on the road, they will not engage in speed. Because most of them didn't go to driving school. Some people like my father can drive, my uncle and my auntie. And most of them, these were not verified instructors. They just tell you, just keep hitting the gas pedal, just keep going, nothing, just keep going, just keep going. And they just keep driving. Like, I've seen a student that told me that he can only drive straight. Anything that has to do with left, right, count him out. And I was like, are you a driver, first of all? So, but truly, when we entered the road, I saw the speed, like, up to 160, and I tell park. And I said, who taught you? Say, well, his uncle has been driving from Abuja to Lagos for the past 30 years. And his uncle is a highway driver, so his uncle taught him with the bus. I said, wow. And your uncle did not take his time to see how to teach you, like the bends, the corner, the rules of the road. Most of the people just learn driving without the rules of the road. Now, one of the things that causes most of the accidents on the road is the rules of the road, not just to drive. Anybody can drive, accelerate, brake, clutch, but the rules to drive, that is where the problem comes in. Most people don't know the rules of the road. They're working with the timing. Let me say, for an example, now I'm coming from Kubwa and I'm going to Use Market, for an example. Okay, I resume work by 8 o'clock. I should plan my time ahead and say, okay, I want to be in Use by 8. I plan my time ahead of at least 1 hour, 30 minutes before my time for resumption. So no matter how the road congestion and the rest, I'll be in the office at a particular perfect time without being in the hurry, without overestimating my speed. Yes, meaning I'll be running at a moderate speed of at least 60, 70, 80 kilometers. In fact, I'm never up to the maximum speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Everybody should be enlightened the dangers of speed. Now, one thing about speed is this. The more speed you engage in, if it happens, the more impact you have. Take for an example, you are running at 60 kilometers per hour. If you have an accident on that particular speed, the impact is high. But it will not be as high as somebody who's running 160 kilometers. On 60 kilometers per hour, you might have an accident, you might not die. There might just be maybe dislocation of the leg, the hands, you understand? But there is no death or call. Now, take for an instance, I'm driving on an express, and on an express, let's just assume I'm running at 100 kilometers per hour on the express. Now, I'm not in a minor road, which is a minor highway. I'm not supposed to run 100 kilometers per hour on that spot. At least it will be around 50, if at most 60 kilometers. Nigerians will still want to maintain the same 100 at that spot. Now, when you ask, they'll tell you that road is road, everything is, they are all road. So they don't want to explain to you. You know that now, on the express, you're running 100 kilometers. Now, on this spot, why running 100? They tell you that, it's all road. No, it's not enlightening. It doesn't know the differences on the road that we have on highway, slow lane, park, and it doesn't know what it also know that once the road is tight, it tells you remove, which is bad. We have the speed meter. That should be a perfect rule. So mostly on these commercial buses, cars going to long journeys, they should be having speed meters in their vehicle to be able to reduce the speed. Now, how does this speed meter operate? When you reach a certain speed, you cannot accelerate more than that. Let me say, for an example now, I want to exceed to 120 kilometers and it is set for 100 kilometers. I cannot exceed that 100 kilometers. Now, even the more I accelerate, instead of the vehicle to increase the speed, you start hearing the engine sound increasing. You start hearing the engine sound in very high frequency, which will damage your engine and cause you overheating. So I'll be forced to go back to where I'm supposed to be. That one is on that side. And also the e-ticketing, that is having electronic tickets on the traffic lights on some of the roads. Now, we know the roads, we don't want reckless speed or reckless or within the town. We know the places. So we should have that speed meter dictating on them to dictate, oh, you're coming above the requested speed and you should be accountable for it. And if you ask me very well, I would say the speed limit should be put in a place whereby as you finish hitting it, at the next traffic, there are law enforcement expecting you. But not just waiting, they're expecting you to come and meet them. Then you guys will have dialogue on the issue you did before. Then they take you to their office. When you go to their office, you explain furthermore.
It says, speed thrills but kills. It is our responsibility to educate you to stay safe at all times. This is where we stop our show for this week. Keep it with us next week, same time. I remain Sufyan Muhammad. Bye for now.